here a little bit. I'm almost there. You know, in terms of this idea of developing the whole person in sport, I just want to mention it because I think I have to do justice to it. I can't go into depth in it, but I want you to understand when we're talking about this idea of sport in this environment, I'm talking about everything that makes up sport. So you are talking about the body. You're talking about biomechanics, exercise physiology. I could give you very specific things, very pragmatic, real things that if I shared with you, they'd be of help to you. You'd say, that makes complete sense. You know, psychology. I could look at, you know, the psychology. I could look at motor control, motor learning and control. In under psych, I could look at personality. I could look at performing in the present moment. I could look at the motor control. I could give you all of these things. You know, the soul. I could talk about, you know, again, parable of the talents. You know, Matthew 25. I could go into much greater depth about our true purpose. I'll just give you one quick example of what I mean. You know, if you could imagine right now somebody that you would die for, okay, literally die for. If I told you right now that they were up here, I don't know how they got here, and this whole thing burst into flames, are you going to come up here and pull them off? You're not very enthusiastic. This is somebody you're going to die for. Are you going to come up and do it? Yeah. You sure? Yeah. Boy, there's only a couple of people really sure. The others are saying, I don't know. You know, they lived a long, good life. You know. So let me ask again. Person you love that you're telling me you die for, would you come up here and pull them off? Yeah. Okay, better. Whew. Those people are feeling a lot better now too, you know. Okay, if I right now pulled out a flamethrower, burned your wrist right down to the bone. Same burn you're going to get pulling them off here. You're going to go nuts. You're going to roll on the floor, scream out into the room, attack me. I mean, it's going to be unbelievable. Same burn, same pain. One you can take, one you can't take. Pain without a purpose is intolerable to human beings. We can't take it. So that means there has to be a powerful reason for doing things. And that's where I could go into greater depth talking about the soul, you know, and how that relates within sport, and how courage, all these things come to be. I'm going to skip over something here. It was a nice piece on fairness in sport, but given the time, I'm going to maybe skip that. And I'll just give you an example of it. How many people here are aware of Lutz Long and Jesse Owens in the 36 Olympics? Raise your hand if you know that story. Okay, some don't, so I'll just quickly say it. In the 1936 Olympics, Jesse Owens there, Adolf Hitler in Berlin. Lutz Long was a world-class long jumper. He was actually not a heavy favorite, but he was a favorite to even win the event. In the long jump, you get 3 attempts to make the final. If you don't make that, you're out. Okay? Jesse Owens fouls on his first 2. That means he stepped over the board when he went to jump into the pit. 2 fouls, no measurement. He has 1 jump left. And he's worried that he's not going to make it. Lutz Long, who's already qualified, goes up to him and says, look, I'm just going to put a towel down here. He goes, you got plenty of distance to make this the finals. Just take off where I've put the towel. So he moved the towel up a little bit. Owens goes down, takes off the towel, easily qualifies, and goes on to win the gold medal. Now, everybody knows that story. You say, well, isn't that great? That's sportsmanship. That's fairness. That's virtue. Now, I'd like to verify the story, and I've tried to verify it, but I've seen it around on credible sources. But I'm going to share with this last part that really, again, was a touching story. And that is, not long after that happened, Lutz Long, I don't know whether it had anything to do with this or not, was sent to the Russian front, and he was killed. Several years later, when his daughter was getting married, Jesse Owens walked her down the aisle. You know, to me, wow, that is real. That is virtue. That is what we are called to. That is what athletics is called to. Just think of these stories. If this was what we experienced every day in sport, wouldn't it raise our whole lives up? Wouldn't it be examples to us in everything that we do outside of sport? And those areas in our lives, those are as applicable as sport in terms of this virtue being alive in it. So what I'm going to say here now is, look, I'm encouraging you to speak the language of virtue. Start to use the words with people, okay? I want you to support, model, and teach it whenever you can, whenever you have the opportunity. And I really want you to spread the word, and that quote is on that website, reclaimthegame.com, okay? I would love for you to memorize that, because I think you knowing that quote and be able to share that with people is going to have a powerful influence on changing the world of sport and on our expectation. And you know, we all think I'm just one person, there's much I can do. If every single one of you went out and infected another 100 people, they'll affect 1,000 people, it keeps going. So we've got to do something. And so that's my call to help reclaim the game. And I thank you very much for your kind attention. And thanks, and God bless you.